Most e-commerce brands are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year because their flows are either boring, broken, or basic. And the worst part, most brands don't even realize it. In this hands-on tutorial video, I'm going to walk you through the exact Klaviyo flow system I've used to generate over $250 million for over 160 plus brands, six-figure ones, all the way up to the billion-dollar brands. And I'm not just showing you theory, I'm showing you high-level strategy and eye-level tactics, including the exact flows you need, the exact timing, the exact structure, the psychology behind every single flow, and how to build every single one directly into Klaviyo step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete e-commerce flow blueprint you can literally steal and deploy into your brand immediately. Because if your flows aren't generating revenue while you sleep, this is probably going to be the most important email marketing training video you'll ever watch this year. So first things first, let's talk a little about who I am and why am I talking all about flows. So number one, I'm an ex-VP of retention at the billion-dollar brands, as well as speaker, author, and agency founder. I've sent over 3 billion emails lifetime, generating over $450 million in revenue for brands just like you. I'm an award-winning email and SMS marketer, authored the book on it, created a masterclass on it, been a featured speaker at eTail, Bluecore, and Post Funnel Summit, and I've worked with brands from 6 figures to 10 figures all around their flows. And I found that flows are one of the most critical parts of any e-commerce business overall. And by the way, if you want all my retention marketing frameworks, I bundled together my top 4 e-commerce retention frameworks for just $9 below. That includes my 330-page email marketing playbook, my $100 million text SMS playbook, my customer retention playbook, and even my Black Friday playbook. These are the exact frameworks we use for 7, 8, 9, and even 10-figure e-commerce brands every single day. You can grab all 4 below this video for just the price of a coffee. So let's talk a little bit about why flows matter for your brand. So number one, speed to lead means more revenue 24/7, 365, right? The faster you follow up with your customers, the more chances you are of converting them. It allows you to reduce your reliance on ad spend to fuel your growth. You don't have to pay for ads all the time to follow up, like retargeting ads and things like that. Your flows do that for you, right? You get their email, get their SMS, they can follow up for you without having to increase your ad spend. It's also a higher performing email because it's sent to people who know, like, and trust you, which means more profits. It's a lot more of a profitable approach, better than a campaign in many ways. Personalized emails like a flow generate 6 times more revenue on average from your email program. It's also a profitable, predictable, sustainable revenue stream for your business that runs 24/7, 365, right? All the time, it's consistently running. It's just consistent and sustainable. And really, it solves 4 major problems that brands face today. Number one, Klaviyo is a Ferrari, but you're using it like a Toyota. So most of the time, you're not even maximizing the capabilities of your technology. And if you have your flows running, it's allowing you to take more advantage of Klaviyo. You're probably not using your Shopify correctly either, but we're talking really about Klaviyo today. The more you use your technology, the better off you'll do. And that's exactly what we're going to accomplish on this video. How to use your Klaviyo like the Ferrari it's meant to be used. Problem number 2, sending more campaigns will actually kill your list. If you're sending 3 to 4 campaigns a week, you're already burning down your list and worse, drowning out the follow-up that your flow should be delivering. There's no scenario where 3 to 4 campaigns is going to make you more money than an optimized flow, right? Because the money's in the follow-up. Customers want to see more personalized emails in their inbox, more relevant emails, and flows do just that. Your campaigns are more like talking at people. Your flows are really listening and reacting to your customers, and that's why they convert a lot better. And problem number 3, your flows are pretty much broken, boring, or basic. Most of the time, Klaviyo sets you up with a basic foundation for how to build it out and gives you some ideas. But in reality is, these flows aren't really optimized for your specific type of business. Not to mention that the templates are boring. And most of the time, if you're using it, like the way Klaviyo intends for you to do it, sometimes it's a broken journey for your customers. So you really need someone to look inside and say, is this the right fit for my business? Am I sending it out the right way? Am I building it the right way? And that's what this solves. These flows will give you the core essentials to create better flows and not just the boring, basic, or broken ones. And finally, number 4, these flows are not just the core critical ones. This gives you a good foundation behind what's possible, right? I'm going to teach you the welcome, abandons, post-purchase, Winback, and other flows like that. But in reality is, once you dig into Klaviyo and start using it better, this opens up your mind and you start realizing that Klaviyo has so much for you to tap into. And I'm going to show you just a quick peek at some of the flows we built out for brands. This is just a small portion of the portfolio we deliver to brands overall. But once you start using Klaviyo like it's intended and you're using like the Ferrari, you actually realize there's so many more flows you can build out once you have these core essentials set up for yourself. Now, before I show you the exact flows, we want to make sure that these flows fit a good strategy. You're a smart business person and you read emails in your inbox all the time. So you know that when someone's emailing you, in order to get across to your customer, you've got to make it really relevant and really connected. Otherwise, there's no point in sending that message. You got to connect to the person behind the inbox overall. So every flow we build out is actually designed around what we call our AIM strategy. It's part of my $1 million flow services. Each email has to be appropriate, immediate, and a moneymaker. Appropriate means that it's relevant to the customer, that they see the personalization behind it, that it's showing relevancy to what they're doing on the site, relevancy to what they want to buy, relevancy to what they're looking for at the time. And then also immediate, we want to send it out at the right time in their buying cycle, not wait 5 hours for a card email, nor wait 5 hours for a welcome email. It's got to be immediate at the right time they expect it. And it's got to be a moneymaker. Every email we send out has to be converting at a high level. Otherwise, what's the point? So the flows I'm about to teach you live at the intersection of those three pillars. They're appropriate, they're immediate, and they make huge amounts of money for your brand. Let's get started on diving into Klaviyo. And real quick, if you're enjoying this video so far and gained some real great value out of it, make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'm on a mission to give the secret email, SMS, and retention strategies of the top e-commerce brands to your brand so you can scale just as quickly. I'm constantly dropping advanced e-commerce retention strategies, email marketing tips, SMS strategies, Black Friday plans, consumer psychology, segmentation, personalization, creative copy, you name it, I'm dropping it here on this channel first. So if you want more content like this every single week, just hit the subscribe button. So the first thing I want to introduce you to is how to think about your flows and how to break it up into pre-purchase versus post-purchase. And this graphic right here gives you the clear illustration of how we approach flows for every one of our clients and how brands need to rethink from just having a funnel mindset and really rethink it into more of an hourglass mindset. So you see here that the pre-purchase flows are extremely important for acquiring a customer, and they include the welcome series, site abandon, any abandons, right? Browse, cart, checkout, abandon. And eventually when a customer makes a purchase, usually that's when the funnel ends. And there's a reason there's a big hole at the end of the funnel, because most people ignore the fact that this customer has a high lifetime value. There's a lot more opportunity to build a relationship with them. So they ignore that side of it. But they focus on the pre-purchase flows. I focus on the post-purchase flows as well. And that's how you take your funnel and shape it into, you can see right here, clearly like an hourglass style. And the post-purchase side is how you grow lifetime value and how you win customers for life and turn them from one-time buyers into lifetime buyers every time and half the time. So the post-purchase side includes the adoption phase of your post-purchase journey, retention phase, the expansion phase, advocacy phase, churn prevention, as well as customer win-back. You need to have both pieces of this funnel and hourglass to really be a successful brand, period. And that's why this illustration really summarizes what you need to achieve. And that's why I'll exactly show you what to build on this tutorial as well. As you can see within this tutorial, we also have clear wireframes on every single flow we're discussing right here. You click on welcome flow, you get a whole description about it, as well as a Klaviyo screenshot about the flow. You can see all the top flows right here that we build out. So it's a very clear wireframe to get you going. And we provide this as a gift to every one brand that either we know or work with, or anyone who wants to get access to it, to be honest. But it's a super helpful visualization of the way your flows need to be built. And by the way, if you actually want to study this flow funnel and hourglass wireframe for yourself, you can simply go to HiFlyerDigital.com/flow-funnels. I mapped out the entire strategy visually so you can actually study it and implement it into your brand in minutes. So let's get started with building out our very first flow, which is the welcome flow. So the welcome flow, you can see right here, is all about what the journey is, what the experience is after they join your list, but did not place an order, right? It's a new subscriber entirely, and it nurtures them towards the first purchase with 4 high converting touches. I found that if you start building out a welcome flow that has more than 4 touches, there's a law of diminishing returns. You're just not going to see anything after 4 touches, maybe 5 max. But when you see a flow being built out with 7, 8, 9, 10 touches, you've done something wrong. It's all in the first 1 to 4 touches of your flow that you will win a new customer. So number one, I'll just walk you through a little bit of the wireframe so you can understand how it works. Number one, when they're added to the list, you want to make sure that your pop-up is live, that you're capturing subscribers. There's other ways to capture subscribers as well, but the pop-up, the account page, the footer form, at checkout, everything is acquiring a subscriber, and they're going into one main list. I'll show you that in a second. And it's new subscribers only, no re-entry. And you also want to have a trigger filter here, where if they did place an order, you remove them, because that's when the post-purchase series kicks in for this new subscriber. You don't need to welcome them with a new offer. It's not going to be a good experience for the customer or for you, and it prevents discount abuses and customer service complaints, because you don't want a new subscriber, you don't want a new customer who just joined the list to get a welcome offer that they're trying to apply to their order they just placed. That's not a really good experience right there, right? So make sure you suppress anyone who has actually placed an order and exit them from the flow. Now let's talk about the actual emails you're sending. So email number one is the welcome offer and delivery, right? You want to send it instantly, put the discount code front and center, have a brief brand intro, multiple content blocks. I'll show you that in a second, and track which blocks get clicked. And very important, smart sending should be off within your flow. I'll show you how to build in a second. After that, you wait about a day. Don't wait 3 days or they'll really forget about you or shop somewhere else. You really want to keep the timing really nice and tight so you're paying attention to them and nurturing them right away. Email number two is more of a brand story plus rave reviews. Tell them what makes you different. Don't be too talking about yourself too much, but this is a chance to say a little bit about your story that kind of connects you to them. But use reviews and testimonials to do the selling for you. Remind them of the offer and lower conversion, but builds trust. You want to focus on this email to build a little more trust, but also being aware that you're not just staying in the inbox to talk at people or just sit there. You want them to place an order and try you out for real. And again, smart sending should be off. You wait another day in general, and again, we like to keep it nice and tight within this welcome email. Send email number three, which is best sellers. Make sure that it's dynamic. It's dynamic recommendations based on what they browsed and cart history. By now, you have data from them. They're giving it to you. They're looking on the site. They're active really in general. So make sure you're positioning this email to be more relevant and personalized, right? Plus wisdom of the crowd. Take the recommendations that people are buying more often. What are the best sellers, the new arrivals? What's trending? Link it to pages that are converting, not back to the homepage. Link nothing back to the homepage. That's where they started. They don't need help with that. They want to go explore the store. So get to new places. And of course, if they ever take an action like viewing a product or adding to cart, the welcome flow should be paused and you start going to the browse abandonment or the cart abandonment, which I'll talk about in a second. And finally, add community and social elements to this email as well, just to make sure you round it out with not just the fact that you're trying to sell them the products, but you're showing them what everyone just like them are buying, right? Really important to have that. And then smart sending is off as well. Wait another day. Some cases, I like to wait 2 days for this one because not to overwhelm their inbox. Reiterate that 10% off offer, that 20% off offer, whatever your welcome offer is. Show more personalized products, link to a high converting page. And of course, it's diminishing returns after touch 4 or 5 or 6. It's just, there's no point in it, right? There's a different strategy for trying to win the sale. It's not within your welcome series right here. So you can see right here on the right, that's the structure of this over here. Now let's go into what the typical wireframe and look of this email really is. So here's a great example of the structure of a welcome series that has really converted at a very high level. So number one, the first email you want to have is welcome. And right in that hero image, you want to have the offer right in your face, call to action high up, ready to go. Again, it should be a responsive looking graphic, having the call to action pretty prominent on your mobile device, of course, on your desktop device, and making sure that this is a really high engaging message right there. This is probably where you get the most clicks right in the hero and offer. Underneath it, put in dynamic products that they are actually looking at now or that people just like them have bought before. Use the wisdom of the crowd, as I mentioned. The products should be prominent because, again, you want them to buy something. You don't just want them to know that there's an offer. You want to take them to the next step. That's where the products are really relevant. And to be honest, the algorithm chooses it for you. You don't need to wing it and say what you think they'll buy. Let the algorithm tell them for you. Next, underneath that, I like to have my navigation. Unless you're a one SKU brand and you only have one product, most of the time you probably have a bunch of different collections or categories. So link them in your email. Put them in the email. Let people know that they can click through and browse more selection. Again, you want to get them deeper into your store, not just going to your homepage. Underneath that are more banners or value propositions, things that talk about we have free shipping over X, or we offer buy now, pay later, or join SMS to get more. All that is in the footer of the email right there. The next touch in your email is our brand story, where you talk a little bit about your story and what you're about and what got you into the business in the first place. We've always found video does really well to get clicks, but make sure you have a nice video on your site because, again, we want to get traffic to the site. We don't just want to have them look at a nice, gorgeous email. An email without clicks is pointless. You want to get them in there, back to the site. Videos do a great job about that. Underneath, an offer reiteration, telling them, hey, the offer you had when you first signed up, still here, waiting to be used. Once again, dynamic products relevant to what they're looking at. I would even differentiate the products from touch 2 from touch 1 slightly. Maybe instead of bestsellers, show new arrivals or trending. And then once again, navigation to get them to go and navigate into the store. And the reason for all this stuff is, number one, it allows you to have some sort of click map about what are they clicking on the most. So eventually you can rearrange these blocks in a way that will get maximum conversion. On top of that, also, it's data gathering, right? If they click on the first navigation here, let's say I'm an electronics retailer and I'm selling lenses or cameras, I want to know if they're clicking lenses, or I want to know if they're clicking storage cards. I want to know if they're clicking accessories, right? So this is data you can use in general. So that's why we always have a navigation in here, offer iteration, and dynamic products. The third touch here is more of a curated email, right? We're not going to go into our story anymore. We're diving into what are they looking at? What can we sell them? What do you think they would need based on what they've looked at? So you have a nice small header here, just talks a little bit about what this email is. It frames that message, and dynamic products under that. I would even have about 4 rows in there of items that they're looking at, items that they may be interested in. And don't be afraid to put in smaller items, because we just want a purchase. We don't necessarily need to get your biggest purchase ever, right? $5,000 item, $10,000 item, and I've worked with all of them. Even if they place an order for a $50 item, that's enough, right? Just get them to buy something and take the next step. Offer iteration under that, and then a navigation as well. The final email, remember what I said, after about 4 touches, it's law of diminishing returns. The final email, just a one-click hero postcard image right here. I call it a postcard. Some people call it a hero image. But yeah, the hero image right here, plus a last chance offer, that's all you need, right? Because at that point, you've explored the store, you've told them your story, you've gotten to know them a little bit. Right now, it's let's do it, right? Now or never, one-click image, get them going. I sometimes have used a letter from the CEO as well, but there's other use cases for that. We don't like to overuse it, right? It's going to be really important to understand when to use it within your flows and leverage it at that right time. So right now, last chance email from you right now in the welcome series. Let's go see some examples of this live. So you see right here, again, our wireframe on the left right there. And then in terms of the visuals, you see the same structure for some of the biggest brands in the world. This brand here, a hero image and category navigation. That's navigation of their store. Top page, your value proposition, that's your banner, sign up for text, another thing. And you can see it consistently going to the next one, a little more of your story. We're formally invited. We have a little bit of story here too. The third touch is new arrivals picked for you, right? Just like you came in, you don't know where to start with our new arrivals. They're really popular. That's the next one. And then again, offer iteration here, 20% off your first purchase. You can see it here on this one as well. Welcome to Greenwood, 20% off your first purchase, handpicked plants, their story bolstered by reviews right here on touch 2. This brand elected to go for new arrivals and bestsellers as separate touches, and it's picked for you, new for you here, 5-star styles here. This is just a wireframe, so you can see the images are not updated, but they're updated dynamically in Klaviyo. And then finally, your welcome gift is expiring. Very simple email, right? Go buy now, or we go back to a campaign cadence right there. This is how the welcome series works extremely well for your brand. So let's start with exactly how to build this in Klaviyo. We're using my dummy account right here where I have about 250 plus flows pre-built out, but I'm going to do it from scratch anyway just to share some examples. So to start, you want to go home, you want to go to flows right there, very simple. And then what you could do is create a flow, right? Just to start from scratch. And you can see right here, there's essentials right there. You can go down to browse by goal, and it'll show you different goals to achieve, nurture subscribers, build loyalty, you name it. I'm going to start with just building my own to start and give you the lay of the land, and then we'll jump into one of the flows we pre-built. So let's build our own, and let's call this HFD welcome right here. And you want to create the flow. And the thing you want to do is create your trigger, right? The trigger is what's getting your flow to move in the first place. So the first thing you want to do, clearly, you trigger your welcome flow off someone who was added to the list. So you simply click add to list right there, and you could select any list right here and move my guy over there. You could select any list you want. In this case, I have HFD master list, I have SMS subscribers, preview list. I know when they're signing up that I'm adding them all to the master list. Now, this is also important to know. Make sure you have one list for everyone. Don't have hundreds of lists. That's going to break stuff, right? If you add people to the list that you expect to get a welcome flow and they're never getting it because they're on the wrong list, that's a broken experience. One list, thousands and thousands of segments, right? Remember that rule of thumb. One list, thousands of segments. So you always want to have the same list for everyone signing up across your store, everywhere, from the footer to the light box to the pop-up to the checkout page, one list. Okay, so then you start adding your trigger. You make sure you have no re-entry, right? You only want to have them enter once and you're good. And then you want to add a profile filter like we talked about before. You want to make sure that you know that this is not for people that placed an order, right? People that placed an order, we don't want them to get this experience. We want them to get the post-purchase experience, which is a better way to approach it. So you want to click add profile filter right there. You look for your conditions right here. You simply say what someone has done, has placed an order, right? Just type that in. Let's use Shopify. Placed an order at least once since starting this flow, and you want to make sure that they are excluded. So the people that are going to get this flow are the ones who did not place an order. So you want to click placed order 0 times since starting this flow, save it, and then you're done. So I'll now pivot over to my existing flow to show you some more stuff. Now that you've built out your trigger and you made sure that no one that is placed an order is getting this email, you then want to build out your welcome emails right here. So very simply, you just go to email, you drag it right in here, and you start putting in your details. You put in your subject line right here, standard welcome email. Don't obsess too much over the actual subject line for this one. Just test it. You really want to have A/B testing going at the very first step in your process. Put in your preview text. I'll just dummy something in right here and dummy something in right there. I'll just put in welcome just so we have it. And then this one is good to have you, right? Something like that. And then you want to select the template you want to have for design. Very simple. You also want to remove skip recently emailed profiles because generally that's a good rule of thumb. The skip email profiles should really be reserved for campaigns because a flow is a much more valuable message than a campaign. So always lift that smart sending from any email you have, unless you feel like you just want to, right? That's totally up to you. You may lose some revenue for some flows, especially the abandons, but for now, I like to lift it and always enable UTM tracking so we can track the results, not just in Klaviyo, but also in Google Analytics to see different sources of correlation in your data. And then save that. Okay, let's go to a template now. Okay, now so you have your welcome subject line right here and your preview text, and I'm just going to look at the existing email we have built out for one of our brands. So all you want to do, if you ever want to edit this template, just click edit right there. It's a very simple process. And let's say you have your graphics you want to upload. You can do it a couple ways. Number one, you can upload from HTML, or you can import it from directly from Figma or Canva into Klaviyo as well. I prefer to make it easy with just images sliced and then maybe putting some text blocks in there manually. All you need to do is drag over your image right there, select the image. You can upload the image here anytime you want. Just upload from your desktop, or again, you can connect with Canva. You can import the URL, the image from another URL like a FTP server, things like that. You can also add in dynamic images where if this is relevant, not relevant for this type of email. And then you can also select any product images you want. You can see my 330-page playbook right there. But you upload the image right here, select it. I already have them in my library, so I'm just going to select this image right there, and then it's already put into the email right there, right? So you can see it very clearly added, not so difficult. You want to go here to the alt text, add something that says welcome, right? Make it relevant to the email, add your link address. Once again, welcome emails should not go back to the homepage. They should go to another page on your website, taking them down deeper into your store. So you put in your link right there. And then if you want to preview what it looks like, you click preview and test, and you see the experience right here. Very easy. No problem. Simple. Very simple to add a template. That's a good thing about Klaviyo. Very simple. If you have a text block, make sure that your text block that you add, you can simply go over here if you need it. But make sure your text block that you add has the right fonts that will be visible on any device, really. And there's a default font that you really like. Others will default to a font you may not like, right? In some cases, some brands have a specific font and brand look that they want, and that's all good and well. You can upload here and add a font right there. But in case you want to prepare for a default font to be added, just be aware that at least it hopefully will match what you need to match. And that's how you set up a template. The welcome email, just main graphics, put that in, and then you should be set. So let's recap. You have your trigger going right to the list. You're suppressing anyone who has placed an order because they're going to get post-purchase. You're immediately delivering a welcome gift for that customer or whatever offer you promised when they sign up. You wait a day, you send out welcome touch 2, reviews and story. You let your customers do the selling of your story for you, the best way to do it. Wait another day, you're now triggering out a welcome touch 3 bestsellers, things that are wisdom of the crowd, what new customers just like them also bought, give them the inspiration to buy something and the trust. And then you end after 2 days with a 10% off welcome gift reiteration that expires soon and use it or lose it. After that, no more touches needed. Diminishing returns, just wasted emails. So follow this 4-step series and you're good. But one thing to remember, none of these flows matter if you aren't growing your email and SMS list at all. So I actually made another video breaking down the top 13 ways to grow your email and SMS list fast using pop-ups, quizzes, transactional emails, offline, online tactics, website hacks, everything that can help you grow your list. I even grew a list from 0 to 500,000 in just 60 days with these strategies that we use for our clients every single day. I'll link that video below this one so you can watch it next. Let's dive into the next flow on our flow funnel on Hourglass right here, which is the site abandoned flow. This is really top of funnel. It's for window shoppers who visited but really did nothing. And you want to suppress anyone who went deeper, like viewed a product, add to cart, or maybe really took some action that indicates that they're just not looking at the site or visiting the site, they're actually intent on taking some new steps. And what's interesting here is that Klaviyo also captures anonymous traffic. So if you get them to submit their email somehow, this is a great flow for converting those anonymous people into subscribers. Let's start with the main bones of this, right? The trigger is based on active on site, right? Someone's active on site, that's going to start triggering this flow. And again, it captures anonymous traffic, and you can allow re-entry for this for anywhere between 14 to 30 days because it's not a super high converting flow like the other abandons, but it definitely captures a lot of people and follows up with them fast. And you really just want to verify that every metric fires correctly before enabling. Let's talk about the trigger filter. And again, it's all based on them viewing the site and not taking any further action. They didn't view a product. They didn't add to cart. They didn't start checkout. They didn't place an order, right? Because the browse, cart, and checkout abandoned flows are meant to take over once they go deeper, right? So make sure you're suppressing anyone who took a deeper action. After that, you wait a delay of about 1 to 1.5 hours. I found that's a sweet spot. Waiting anything like 3 to 6 hours, too long, not good follow-up, different season, right? 3 hours is different season of the day, if you will, right? It's the difference between lunchtime and dinner time in some places. So you want to make sure that you're following up pretty quickly and they're not open to hearing from you. Get them while the iron's hot. And even if you're doing an SMS, you send 15 minutes before or after every email. And that's a different strategy we have. Whenever you have email and SMS running at the same time, usually decide which channel goes first and then separate it by about 15 minutes. That's a good rule of thumb. So what are the emails you usually will send for site abandonment? So number one, explore the store and build trust. The psychology here is that they're pretty much overwhelmed and unsure about where to start. Right? Think of it as you're at a store and you're looking in the window and you're not quite sure where to go or what to do. You're maybe at the entrance and you're like, it looks pretty packed in here, or it doesn't look packed at all, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm not sure where to do, or something's not drawing me in. So this is where you have to be helpful, right? So lead with, what are you looking for? What can we help? Here's why people love us. This is where people start, things like that. I found that if you can include a data gathering tool to get more information about them, a quiz or a survey, that's super helpful for you in perpetuity, not just on this email, but forever. Great examples are 6 reasons why customers trust our brand. Give them reasons why people shop here. Lead with reviews, user-generated content, right? Things like that will help with this email. Add in navigational blocks into your email. Again, I'll show you a visual of this. So track every click you can to know what's getting people to come back to your store. You can also use the data here from the clicks to improve your actual site experience too. Help them find the right category like a salesperson would, right? Just like if you're standing at the entrance to a store. And I like to compare the email and e-commerce experience to the actual store, which is really what it's built on, right? Think of it when you're standing at the entrance, you're not sure where to go. A salesperson can come over and be helpful, steering you in the right direction. And of course, smart sending is off on these flows as well. And again, when you think about it, let's say someone clicked an email from your campaign, didn't do any action, didn't view a product, start, checkout, add to cart. They're a site abandoner, right? So smart sending should be off so your email can follow up with those campaign clickers. Wait 2 to 3 days before following up. Again, this next email is optional. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Really depends on the success of the first email too. Email number 2 is give the impression something new has arrived, new products, new reviews, new payment options, new announcement, heard the news, or back with something new in this email is really what it's about. Reviews work great here. It's social proof for window shoppers. And again, remove anyone who viewed a product or add to cart. They're now officially in another flow. So let's talk a little bit about the structure of this type of email for a site abandonment. So there's 2 things that we can use to really maximize the potential of this flow. Number 1 is why fans love us. Give us reasons why people should be coming back to you, right? You see here, it's a really clear hero image right there at the very top. Underneath it, you want to be assisting to them, right? Obviously, they came to the site, they didn't know what to do next, they didn't want to do anything next, whatever it may be, but you want to be assisting to them, right? By the way, did you know you can give us a call? Did you know we have a chat bot to get you started? Did you know we have a search bar that can get you going? And yes, maybe you typically will know all that. Some people you need to make it very clear for them. I also like to have a data gathering block in here, like a quiz or survey, asking them specifically, what can we help you find? And that's also where navigation comes in very handy within this email, because they may not be aware about where to go next. They may be confused. Maybe your homepage is just a nice looking homepage that doesn't take them the next step, right? So you want to make sure that the navigation is in there too, while all these other things are helping them. And finally, I always like to add in dynamic procs into this type of email, because again, if you think about it, if they click at an item and view that item, they are taking another step. And I could actually retarget them from what they viewed, right? If they view a product, automatically they're eligible for a browse abandonment, right? So I always like to have dynamic procs in there to take them further down the funnel and end with your standard footer. You also have site abandon 2, which is optional, which is more of a helpful email from the CEO. We didn't really copy it too much, but you can see the bones of this type of email. Hey, what are you here to find? What can we help you look for? And you have different click points for them to click on. I'm looking for shoes. I'm looking for socks. I'm looking for hats. I'm looking for dresses. And that's a really easy way to get them through to the next step. And it's a very soft email coming from the CEO. But again, you can also just talk about your new arrivals. I found brands like to do just new arrivals. People may not be aware of what's new. They may have come because of what's new. And now you're taking them to the next step as well. So you have the graphical side right here, site abandon. And if you opt to do a touch 2, you could do another graphic, or you could do just a letter-based email right there. Here's some great examples of the creative angle that stick to our structure and follow up really fast. As we mentioned here, you can see that you have this brand right here, which tells a little bit about hear from fellow shoppers before you go, with reviews to back it up. Again, letting your customers tell the story for you. You have this brand right here that has a nice kind of explanation of why people trust them, why they are the cutting edge of fashion, as well as, again, navigation to take them to the next step. You have this brand right here that tells all about 6 reasons why customers should shop with us and why they always go to us. And you have 6 different click points right in that email, all of which gives you data about what gets people to come back, right? It's very important. It could be the free gifts are the most important, or it could be real people, real help, right? So you really don't know until you send the email. And once you see the clicks and engagement and the conversion from those clicks, then you'll know what works, and then you can optimize your homepage for that. So it's a good kind of like data gathering tool. Email is not just a way to close deals and get clicks. It's about gathering data. It's a free channel to gather data. And then on top of that, this brand right here has a really great email eyeing our collection. Here's what we need to know. And also, here's the cool part. Take our quiz. What are you looking for? Different colors, different styles, you name it. That data is useful for you in perpetuity that you can use for future emails going forward. Once again, let me show you exactly how to build this in Klaviyo. So all you need to do is go to create flow right there, and we're going to build our own. Again, if you have a recipe right here to start with, that's great. You can go from there, but let's build it straight from scratch to show you exactly how to do it. Build your own right here. I'm going to call this HFD site abandon, and then let's call it test just so we don't lose track of it in our massive flow portfolio. So you see right here, you have all your metrics on the left that gives you an indication about what are the most popular ones, but you also have over here your metrics, right? These are the metrics you have in your store, and you can also look at all the triggers possible. So we're going to look for all the triggers and also your metrics. I'm looking for API, and you can see right here, there's active on site metrics. So you want to drag that metric into here, or just click on it actually, drag that, put that in, and then toggle it around, right? You can allow re-entry after a time period. Again, I like to have anywhere between 14 to 30 days. With this one, I'll pick 21 days, just right in the middle of it. Next to the note is our profile filters, which is the most important part of it. So if you remember in our flow grid right here, that anytime someone took an action that is deeper in the funnel, like viewing a product, adding to cart, or starting checkout, let those abandoned flows do the follow-up for you. Those flows follow up better than a site abandon, which is a generic way of saying, hey, come back, take another look. If I have information about what they're doing on the site, viewing a product, adding to cart, and starting checkout, the site abandon is actually going to perform worse than letting my cart abandon run. So what I want to do is go in here. I want to go into my profile photos and make sure I exclude anyone who placed an order, or exclude anyone who started checkout, or exclude anyone who added to cart or viewed a product, because they shouldn't get this flow, right? They don't need to get it. They're deeper down the funnel. Now, here's how to build it, just so we have it. It's already pre-built, but all you need to do is go here, what someone has done X, and you select your person has placed order, or checkout started, or added to cart, or viewed product. You can see it right there. And you want to make sure that it's 0 times. So therefore, anyone who viewed a product will not get this flow. Only people who have placed an order 0 times, started checkout 0 times, add to cart 0 times, and viewed product 0 times, only these guys will continue down this flow. So now let's look at the final setup of this flow. So once again, the trigger is when someone is active on site, and you go here, you set your wait period. In this case, it was 21 days. We set it. We made sure we're not saying it to anyone who viewed a product, not saying to anyone who started checkout, not saying to someone who added to cart, not saying to someone who placed an order, right? It's only for people that are pretty cold, right? But still warmer than nothing, right? So active on site. And then in this case, I did an example of a conditional split. Maybe I'm not sure about when to follow up. It could be an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I did a split here between 1 hour and 2 hours. And then we launch our template here that just says come back for a second look. Very simple. You can put any subject line you want, any preview text you want. And again, use the frameworks I showed you. Got an idea about why do people shop with us, great reviews about our brand, get data about them. What are they looking for? How can we be helpful? And that's how you use this flow really well. Converts really modestly, but still gets a lot of demand, and you want to take them to the next level, gets a lot of people in there. So it's going to be a really good flow for getting a lot of engagement and pushing them deeper down the funnel. The next flow in our flow funnel in Hourglass is our browse abandon. We're working all the way down from welcome when you first greet them to next when they abandon the site, right? A little bit better than welcome, but still just maybe window shoppers. And next we have browse abandon when they're actually viewing a product. So this is high volume, but lower intent than cart and check, and it targets product viewers who didn't add to cart. And again, you want to suppress anyone who went further down the funnel and focus these emails specifically on the product. Don't drown it in your creative. That's a really important differentiator, right? Your campaigns, you can make gorgeous campaigns all you want, but the flow is all about follow-up, and the money is in the follow-up. So make sure that you're featuring the product they're looking at. With any of the abandoned flows, you want to make sure that the product is featured very prominently and sometimes a little less designed than you think necessary. So let's talk about the trigger behind this. So number one, the trigger is the viewed product metric right there. And you use our browse abandoned templates, which I'll share with you in a second. Allow re-entry into the flow anytime between 14 days. Some use 21. It's a good average, right? You can always test out the right timing. And again, if they view again after 14 days, the flow re-triggers. So keep that flow running. As for the trigger filter, you want to remove anyone who has a lower funnel activity. Again, if they add to cart, start checkout, or place an order, you want to remove them from this flow because those follow-ups are a better one, right? Let them run there. I usually like to wait about an hour for this. Make sure you test again, email going versus SMS, which one should go first. Make sure you're staggering that out correctly. And now I like to wait an hour before I send out the browse abandon. And the reason for that is because cart abandon usually goes at the 30-minute mark. Checkout abandon usually goes at the 45-minute mark. And just to make sure there's no overlap, because technically, if someone added an item to cart, they clearly view the product. So there could be an overlap between your flows. So I like to wait about 15 minutes between each flow to avoid any duplicate sends. You never know what can happen, right? So wait an hour for that. Staggered timing prevents flow overlap. And then you want to make sure to A/B test the exact time delay at a later time. But that is something to find the right exact timing to trigger this flow. Let's talk about the structure of the email. Email number one is all about product-focused messaging, right? Just make sure you're focusing on the right product. Keep it clean. Don't drown it in creatives. You want to make sure the copy at the top is very short. Feature the product, right? The exact product they viewed should be the center of the email. Underneath it, you want to have value propositions that are related to the item they're viewing, right? Free shipping, fast delivery. Focus on, they're looking at an item, they're maybe not convinced they have to get the item from you. So focus on why you should get it from us as opposed to, let's say, Amazon or Walmart or your top 10 competitors, right? Those are the value propositions you should put in the email. And then underneath it, because they're still looking at an item, you can also add in dynamic recommendations under there because maybe there's other items that they may like. There's different colors, different sizes, different types of the product, different bundles of the product that they may not be aware of. So having other recommended items for that email are really amazing. Smart sending should be off as well. Again, if I sent a campaign at 1 p.m. and people are looking at items between 1 and 2 p.m., I want my flow to retarget them, right? I want to follow up with them with this browse abandon. You can't do it with smart sending on. You got to have smart sending off. After that, you wait about a day or so. Again, the money's in the follow-up, so you want to follow up pretty quickly. A day is a pretty good time. Same structure as email one, but this time focus on the rave reviews and the social proof, right? Swap the value propositions for social proof, for rave reviews, videos, you name it, that's going to give this product across that why customers love it. Reviews overcome hesitation better than discounts at this stage, right? Still show dynamic products as well and smart sending off. Wait another day right here, and then email number 3, you can add an offer on that item. And it could be discount or free shipping on the specific product. I'm going to talk about this real soon about our given up email for our cart and checkout, but don't use it here. I think it's going to be better for cart and checkout. And at this point in day 3, if they browse a product and didn't really take much of an action, an incentive gives them something to act on, right? They really can take advantage of it. But test and rotate that offer over time because it sometimes gets stale. And again, smart sending is off. Now let's talk about the high performing structure of a browse abandon email, but also this is a structure for cart and checkout just as well. Just some blocks are added and removed. So number 1, you always want to have in your email, the main focus of it is going to be the product they were looking at. You have dynamic items coming in. You know exactly what they're looking at. The customer is clearly interested in it. So you want to make sure that the product is featured very prominently. The copy header section is very short, very terse, very truncated. Do not block the email with all this amazing design work when it's not really necessarily relevant, right? Unless, again, you only have one SKU you're selling. If you're talking about SKUs or designs or looks that they're not interested in, what's the point? I've had brands that have this gorgeous browse abandoned email and they're talking all about the dresses, but the reality is I was looking at a belt. So if I got an email that showed dresses and didn't show my belt prominently, I'm not going to buy it because clearly this email seems to be talking about dresses. It's not for me, right? So that is not what you want to have. You just want to have a nice small copy header, and I'll give you some examples in a second. Product should be prominent, or the image right there, the name of the product, and the call to action. I don't like to add price to this. I want them to click through to see the final price. And then underneath it, you have your reviews and value, as we talked about. Value propositions, talking about why they should buy the product from you and not anywhere else. You can also add in some reviews. It's all just the same thing in some ways. Just make sure you test which one works better. And then your footer. And then Abandoned Touch 2, the same thing. Everything the same, except, again, we like to add in dynamic products of items they may also like. So if we're looking at the main item, they didn't buy it, there must be a reason. Maybe it wasn't in the right size, not in the right color. Maybe they didn't have the right specs. Maybe it wasn't in stock. Whatever it may be, the dynamic products here position other items that they may like that they may not be aware of, and will get them to buy something at least. And then finally, touch number 3, you can have a design going, you can have an offer, and usually there are times when you like to have a letter-based email right here, where the CEO follows up and says, hey, so you're looking at this, come take another look. That's used sparingly. I use that more or less for cart and checkout. That's when it has the biggest impact. For browse abandon, just repeating a touch 2 type of format for touch 3 usually does the trick. So here's an example of brands that are doing it really well and they're crushing on the browse abandon. We're talking like 60% open rates, 15% click rates. So you see right here, very small graphic on the very top, very small copy, right? You don't need much. Don't drag down your email with design because the main focus on the email should be the product they're looking at. You have the product right there, name of the product under there. You see it's dynamic, and you have a clear call to action, small sentence, no big graphics at all. You have your value propositions and review under that. And then you might like also dynamic products, show more variety of what they may be interested in if they're not interested in the main one. Touch 2 is pretty much the same, very similar setup, just about the follow-up. Continue to follow up. This time, maybe talk a little bit about the reviews, different subject line, change that a little bit. And finally, touch 3, here's 15% to elevate it, right? Making sure that they're putting the offer primary right there. You're giving it one last shot to get them to buy. And if not, well, they go back to your campaign cadence overall. Same structure, and it works every single time. Here's another brand. Again, revisit your latest find. No big graphics at the top. Image right there. Dynamic products under there. Similar with this one, you've got great taste. And now you have a little bit more details about your value propositions, why customers shop, a little bit longer. I don't think too many people would click below the fold on this type of email, but if you like to have it, great. Just don't put it above the fold. And then finally, a 10% off your order right there that converts along with some recommended items they may also like. So once again, let's start building this in Klaviyo. What you want to do is go to Create Flow, and of course, build your own right there. Let's call it HFD Browse Test, just so we have it. Okay, create the flow. And of course, as always, you want to start with the trigger. So you can see right here, some of the most popular ones are in the list. Viewed product is where you want to start. Click viewed product. That's the exact one you want. Again, you want to allow re-entry after a time period, let's say about 14 days right there. Confirm and save. Now I'm going to pivot into my flow build so you can see it right here. So this is our browse abandon full flow build right here. As you can see, we have the trigger when someone views a product. We have our wait period right here. And once again, remember, when they're deeper in the funnel, you want to let the better emails go first. So as you can see here with our profile filters, which I showed you in the last section, you can actually suppress anyone who is deeper in the funnel, right? Place to order should not get this. Checkout start should not get this. Add to cart should not get this. So you want to make sure you set up your profile filters. And then once again, you set your wait period right here. And instead of 1 hour, you set 4 hours. You have 1 hour right there. And you're sending your email. So you got touch number 1, then you could wait 20 hours or 24 hours. Again, we wait a day. We set it up for that client at the 4 hour mark to give them some time. So save that. 1 hour, wait 1 day, touch number 2, wait another day, send touch number 3 to get them to buy with an offer right here on their item. And even though we have right here, you can see that we added a wait period that says, have they taken another step at any point in this time, we can create them as a non-buyer, update their profile property. That's an optional thing, not for this video, but this is how you set up our browse abandon flow. Now you may ask yourself when building out this browse abandon, how do I get the dynamic product into my email? And that's a very valid question. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it in the easiest way possible. The first step is you want to exit your flow you're building out. Let's exit the flow on this one. I'm going to click create flow right there. And I'm going to take exactly what Klaviyo has pre-built right here. You see this browse abandon standard. I'm going to click it. and get this built up. And I'm going to click use the template right there. And I'll show you exactly what to do in a second. So what they have for us is they built out the dynamic conditional logic for any email we have. So I'm going to go to edit right there to the template. And I'm just going to go, and it's not a very good looking flow. It's not well designed. It just looks meh. But they build out the table for you, right? So I'm going to take this table right here, and you can see it's populated with this dynamic tags and the scripting language. It has the event name, which is the name of the product. It has the price tag if I wanted to, and it has this dynamic image right here. What you want to do is click preview and test, making sure that the data comes in of what someone's looking at. So you can see in this case, this user was looking at this item right here, and it is coming in, right? And if I want to go here to click next, this little arrow, I click the next thing, and I see this person was viewing the same thing. Let's find another user here for a second. That's another one right here. So this person was viewing another item. So we know this type of email works. We know that the item is populating, and that's all we need to know. So I'm going to take this image right here. I'm going to take this block. I'm going to use this star right here. I'm going to star it, and that's called a universal content. And you can save this for any email you have anywhere, right? It's a universal block. It's reusable. And I'm going to call this HFD browse, right? Just so I'm very clear. And I'm going to create it. But I also want to take my call to action because it has a little link here. We see the link address? It has a link there that I should know about, but I don't want them linking to the store, right? By default, Klaviyo is linking people back to the store. I don't want them linking back to the store. I want them linking back to the product. So I'm going to go here to preview and test. And within your payload, which is the payload of the product you have here, this is where they're taking all this dynamic stuff, right? You have the name of the product. You have the price of the product, all coming from this feed here, right? Everything is being populated from there. And I want to take the URL of the product right there. So copy that. Once you click on it, this little URL, it's copied to the clipboard. Done. You go to the call to action and we change it. Let's say take another look instead of that, right? And then I can paste it into the link address right there. Okay, so now it will link back to the product. So if I want to do preview and test to just test it out, you can see it has the product here that they were looking at, the name of the product, the price, and take another look. When I click it, it'll go back to the product that they were looking at. That's the great experience right there. So that's how you pull in the dynamic products and name within your template. The best thing to do, as I mentioned, is again, save the existing block that they had. Oh, I didn't save the CTA, did I? So let's go back a step, make sure I save the call to action right there. As soon as it comes up, right? I save the browse block right there. I'm going to save the call to action also because it's saved. Browse CTA right there, create that. And then I'm going to exit. And then I'm going to add it to the template I really like to build. So now going back to the template I already pre-built out with my great design, gorgeous layout, logo, everything I want. Now I could just go to universal on the top left, the top left right there, and simply drag in this right here. And then, of course, I can mix it up. I can make it a different layout and different column structure and everything I want, of course. But the final output for this brand will be looking like this, right? So I'm going to preview and test, making sure that it actually is coming in correctly. So you saw right here, this person was looking at the Mercer right there, this Vic Ledrian. And let's look at another customer in a second. Where is one? Here's this other person right there. Just clicking the arrows. And again, same thing. So it's, you know, it's dynamic and you can make it however, whatever layout you want. As you can see very clearly, right? Very small amount of text, no great design, just highlighting the item they were looking at. And that's how you differentiate this email. Very easy to put dynamic content into your email. And it's the same process for cart and checkout. I'm just showing it to you for browse. That's how you add in your dynamic capabilities into this email so it converts at an extremely high level. The other item you want to add to these emails are called your dynamic recommendations. And you can see at the very bottom here, they're picking items for that customer. And depending on the customer, these will probably be different. So let's go back for a second. You see there's these 6 products here, whereas the person before saw 5 items. And they're probably different. You have the pink up top here where the other one didn't have any pink. You have a white over here, that other person didn't have it. And it's dynamic to that person. Now, how do you set that up? Very easy. I'm going to click done right there. And you see this block right here. They have an option for dynamic. So I'm going to go here just to give an example. I'll go here to product over here, drag that into your template right there. And I'll put it underneath the just for you, just to give you an example. And then underneath this, you can simply ask Klaviyo to select your products for you, right? Use a dynamic feed, or you can select your own products. So in this case, I'm going to use dynamic feed just to give an example. I'm going to pull in any feed I want or create a feed. I'm going to create a product feed to give you an example. So I want someone to see items related to what they're viewing, right? Because Maybe they didn't find the right size, which is why they didn't buy. Maybe they didn't like the color. Maybe they didn't like something about it. Who knows, right? So I'm going to go here and create the product feed right here. I'm going to use Shopify default because this brand's a Shopify brand. And I'm going to choose my recipe, right? So what should they be viewing? So I'm going to go here and I'm going to add this item right here that says, add this toggle that says products a customer may also like. I want them to see other items beyond what they viewed, right? I don't need to show them what they viewed. That's the whole purpose of the email. So instead, I want to show them products they may also like based on their view history. So I'm going to go here, click based on view history. I could also do view and purchase history, a very richer one. Definitely test it. I'm going to select customers view history. And if they have limited history, what should they view instead? Instead, maybe I want to show the newest products, best selling, most viewed. I'm going to select most viewed right now and select my time period. 3 days, 90 days, depends on your brand. Maybe there's seasonality to your brand. I'm going to select 3 days. And I could filter products based on category. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but there's different ways I could select it, different collections. For now, I just want to show them items related to what they're looking at. I'm going to create a product feed. Let's call it 23, whatever. Create the product feed and see it's populating items. Obviously, it's maybe not, it doesn't have the brand look yet. We're going to get to that. But now you see items related to what they're looking at. So this one is the Mercer sequin, and maybe they're interested in the black pleated ruffle gown, or maybe they're interested in the Toby or whatever it is. It's all dynamically populated, maybe different sizes. So it's all going to look very different for every single subscriber. That's how you put in a dynamic feed into your browse abandon and into your cart, checkout, abandon as well. Any dynamic block into those abandon flows. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, Isaac, this is amazing and really fantastic, but I just don't have the time, bandwidth, or energy to build this out for myself. Well, that's why I created milliondollarflows.com. My team builds out these exact flow systems for e-commerce brands, optimized, written, designed, created, tested, all done for you, swipe and deployed into your brand in just 14 days. The same frameworks we use for over 160 brands from 6-figure to 10-figure, we get it all done for you. And we even offer a money-back guarantee. So if you want your entire Klaviyo flow system professionally built, optimized, written, designed, and launched all for you, go check out milliondollarflows.com after this video. The next flow in our flow funnel Hourglass, we're getting almost to the end of the pre-purchase phases. The next ones are cart and checkout abandon. And I'm going to go through both of them at the same time to save time on this. But the cart abandon and checkout abandon are pretty much the same exact thing. The difference is one is a deeper phase of abandonment, the checkout side, and one is not as deep. It's cart abandon, but still both are super valuable, right? So the key difference is the trigger. So let's dive into checkout abandon. We want to target people who started checkout but didn't complete their order. And this is the highest intent abandon flow. They've seen the price, they're closest to buying, and your goal is to address objections, offer support, and close as soon as possible with more of a founder-led approach and making sure that you're getting them right across the finish line because they're so close. Cart is slightly different. They've added to cart but did not start checkout. So cloning this flow is the easiest way to go. And I'll show you exactly how to clone it. Let's start with checkout abandon though. Again, the checkout start metric is the one you should be basing it on. You should allow re-entry anytime between 21 and 30 days, right? If they're almost at the finish line, keep them going up until a point when let's try another product. You're really deep down into the funnel now, right? You're at the final step of abandon before they place an order. So the only filter you need is placed order equals 0. If you're running cart abandon, the filter you need is did not start checkout. So it's both of them need to run concurrently. They could be the same graphics, same templates, same everything. The only difference is the filter. Next, you want to wait about 30 minutes because again, speed to lead is everything in this flow. Some brands wait 15 minutes. I prefer 30 minutes. It seems to work better for 30 minutes. Again, depending on the type of brand. Match it with SMS. Sometimes your SMS goes at 15-minute mark. Sometimes your email goes at 15 minutes. Whatever you like to do, but just test it. And the first email is basically complete your order. Come back, finish your order, address the most common objections, surprise costs at checkout, distractions, uncertainty, right? CTA, ready to complete your order, finish checkout, make it very clear what they need to do so there's nothing holding them back. And add customer service links. That's the biggest one because again, they're almost at the finish line. If they're not converting from your site, maybe they need to speak to someone. Maybe they need a chat bot, right? Maybe they need to call, right? Maybe they need to visit you in a store. Whatever it may be, take them to that final step to place their order. And also what's really cool is if you're a high AOV brand, $5,000 brand, $10,000 electronics or whatever it may be, consider routing this data over to your sales team also for manual follow-up. It's a really great way to get people to follow up by phone or calling them or reaching out by direct email. All that is good supplemental strategies. There's a different strategy video for this later on. After that, you wait about 18 to 20 hours or about a day by default. and you catch them in the next morning, right? And a friendly reminder, your order is waiting. You repeat your customer service options that if they don't want to convert from the email or on the site, there's other ways to convert. It's critical for high AOV electronics brands to get that follow-up going, and link to support in every checkout abandonment email. Make sure that you're linking to a support message. The third email after you wait 1 or 2 days is one of my favorite ones that I've created for all our brands. It's what I call my founder-led "Have you given up" email, and I'll go through that in a second. It's really the founder, the CEO, the owner writes it like a personal message, and the subject line is very simple: have you given up, right? No one ever wants to be seen as given up, and when you're writing this type of email, it makes it seem as if, have you given up not just on this product, but on your goals, right? And when you send that email of given up, the demand for that is huge. We've had 80% open rates, 20% click rates on that type of email because no one wants to be seen as given up. And that's helped recover millions of carts since we've been using it. And the magic behind it is that we're not just talking about the product, we're trying to talk about the goal they had with the product, right? No one wants to admit they've given up. People don't just click, they reply in some cases too. So make sure your customer service is tracking the replies on these email for actually to follow up with them directly if need be. It converts like crazy. And all you really need in this type of cart and checkout abandonment is just 3 touches to get it done, right? That's all you need. You don't need 5, 6, 7 touches. 3 touches, all done. The structure of your cart and checkout abandonment is pretty similar to browse abandonment, right? You have your small copy header right there, nothing too wordy, nothing too distracting, but the product is the main focus of the email. Show the items in their cart, show the call to action. If there's a coupon code they have, show that if it's eligible from, let's say, their welcome email or from any other source. And then underneath it, reviews and value, addressing the idea that they're about to complete their order. So what can we do to help you finish your order, right? Call us, start a chat, visit us in store, whatever it is they need to do to complete the order. That's your reviews and value. Touch 2, same setup. I would actually remove some of the dynamic products. You don't need them here because they know they're almost at the finish line. Let's just get them in there. And then finally, touch number 3, that given up email. Have you given up? Have you given up on your goals, right? You can see right here, have you given up on your wellness goals? Yeah, I know you're looking at this one product here, but maybe you've given up on the commitment you made to yourself, and I want to help you honor that commitment and honor that goal. I'm here to be a partner with you. So that's a great email to use as well. Here's some examples of this in action, right? You have this email right here, Golf Better Minutes. This is a one product business, so they're only talking about that one item they have. Really quick follow-up, sent within 30 minutes after. You have these brands over here that send a message with more of a graphic of people singing. For them, it was a good fit to just do that. Here from the pros right here, totally dynamic, everything dynamic related. You have this brand right here that has, again, small header, no big graphics at the very top. The item they're looking at, the item in their cart, item at checkout, review, and all options to help them complete their order. Give us a call, start a chat, you name it, followed by that given up email. Works extremely well, just text-based, plain text email, shoot it out, and you'll really print cash on this one. So let's talk about how to build this in Klaviyo right here. Once again, we're gonna go click Create Flow. And you can see that it's pretty much already built out. There's 2 main differences to know: that there is also a cart abandonment and a checkout abandonment. I'm going to start with the checkout abandonment, and then we're going to clone it for the cart abandonment. Once again, click build your own. Let's call it HFD checkout right there, and then test. So we have it, create the flow, and you're going to very simply see the trigger right there, checkout started. And the only thing to know about this is that you want to allow reentry after a time period, about, let's say, 21 days or 14 days, let's put 14. The only other thing you need to know is that you want to remove anyone who actually placed an order. So the only profile filter you really need here is when someone placed order. Very simple. So let's go down here, what someone has done or not done, and look for placed order right there, 0 times since starting this flow, right? Only people who did not place an order will get this, and I'm going to save it right there, and your trigger is now officially set. Let's go to our full flow build out again. So this is our full flow build out. Remember, the trigger is when someone started checkout. They can re-enter after 14 days, no problem. And once again, placed order equals 0 times since starting this flow, meaning they did not place an order, so they continue on. We wait 30 minutes, and then we send our touch number 1. Now, what's interesting about this type of emails is that, once again, you want to lift the skip recently email profiles to make sure that we're not missing anyone who's adding to cart right now after a campaign, right? Because what's going to happen if your campaign is sent at 1 p.m. and people are added to cart right now, you want your flow to follow up with those who not finished their order. So make sure that is lifted at all times. Once again, enable UTM tracking as well. Now, just to give an example of this, touch number 1, all built out. Again, you have the dynamic product in your email. I showed you that on the past section. Wait a few hours till the next email goes out, touch number 2, and then wait 2 days and do that final given up email. Have you given up on your dreams, on your wishes, everything you wanted with this product? I hope not, right? Come back and place the order and let's make it happen. Now that you know how to build this flow out, I'm going to show you exactly how to clone this exact setup for cart abandon right now. So I'm going to go exit right there, exit the flow. Don't need to turn it live. I'm going to go now to MDF checkout abandon right there. You see it right here. Whoop, what did I do? MDF. You're going to go start by going to MDF. You go search for your existing flow. In this case, I have a few of them. I'm going to go here to the 3 dots. You see it's MDF checkout abandon. Go to the 3 dots right there, and you want to click clone. And the interface may change, and Klaviyo does have updates to their system, so it may change in the experience I'm showing right here, but mainly you just want to clone it, right? So you want to clone to the same account, and I want to rename it cart abandon, right? And let's do also test just so we don't lose it, and let's do continue. And you can see right here is when you can start changing the trigger. So instead of checkout started, you want to do add to cart, right? Add to cart and then clone the flow. It's as simple as that. The only difference now is you have to update the dynamic product because the trigger has different payload, different variables in there. So you got to get that exact payload, the right product that's going to show dynamically into your template. Now, how do you do that? Very simple. Remember I showed you in the last one with browse abandon? You want to do the same exact style. So let's click create flow and let's look for a cart. Okay. So cart, we have here add to cart. Here you go, add to cart trigger. Use this one. If you're Shopify or WooCommerce, right? Let's use the template right there. And you want to now go into the template and you see it pre-builds it for you. So you want to go into the template they pre-built for you. Click template and edit. And you can see right here, they saved the block for cart. So if I was looking at something in my cart, this is the block that will show it dynamically. So once again, you take your star right there, go here, and you want to go call this HFD cart block, right? Something like that. Create, just to make it easy. And then we'll do the same thing with this CTA, just to keep it in there. HFD cart CTA. There's different ways to add sections and keep this all connected together. We're not on that. I could save this whole section if I want to and do this and say HFD cart section. That's another easy way. Either way, how you do it, it's going to get done, right? So exit this and let's go out of this. And then I want to find the cart I did, right? That was a test. Carts. Right, just pull this up, and where's cart test? Cart test is MDF cart abandon test right there. And then again, open up your template, and then all you need to do is drag that universal block into your template, and there it is. You just style it up and make sure it looks nice and on brand and everything like that, and then you're done. This is how you set up your checkout abandon and really clone it for your cart abandon, and then you're all done. And if you really want to take your abandoned flows to the next level beyond what I'm teaching in this video, we actually made a deeper video that shows how with our partner app, we actually doubled our abandoned revenues with their advanced recovery strategies. So if you want to maximize your abandoned revenue beyond just this video, I'll link that video below as well. We've officially finished our pre-purchase flows for your brand within our flow funnel. We solved welcome series. We've created a site abandon. We've done browse abandon and now cart and checkout abandon. Now, hopefully, you've recovered a lot of carts, a lot of visitors, and converted a lot of new subscribers, and they have been buying like crazy, which is the goal of all these flows to begin with. But now is the harder part when you start getting them to buy more often, and that's our post-purchase hourglass stage. Now that we've tackled everything within our pre-purchase funnel, we've recovered all our abandoners, our site abandoners, browse abandoners, cart, nurtured people from our welcome series. Now we start transitioning them from the funnel mindset of just acquiring people, and we nurture them into our post-purchase series, which is an hourglass shape. And the reason for that is that it takes customers from just being a person to actually being a part of our community, because customers always leave brands. They'll ditch your products, they'll return it, but rarely will they ever leave a community. So our post-purchase series is all dedicated to keeping them in the community, growing their lifetime value, enriching their experience with us, building trust about the brand, helping them maximize the product, and so many other steps within our post-purchase strategy. And this is how you turn those one-time buyers into lifetime buyers every single time and half the time. So we're going to start diving into what is the post-purchase experience you need to have. We'll keep it extremely simple. I have a lot of other videos all talking about the post-purchase strategy, and I invite you to watch them and subscribe to our channels. But now I want to start with the actual 4-pillar post-purchase strategy and how to build it out. The post-purchase Hourglass flow is a 4-stage Hourglass framework that turns your one-time buyers into lifetime buyers every time. And it comes down to 4 pillars, which are adoption, how our customers using the item, making sure that we're delivering on the expectations they get when they first place the order, retention, how we showing more value for our brand with their purchase that they didn't know about before, expansion, how do we upsell and cross-sell them and maximize the potential of the item they bought, and finally, advocacy. How do we turn our customers from obviously using the product, but also becoming raving fans for us that they can share with their friends and family? And again, it turns one-time buyers into lifetime buyers. And by focusing specifically on taking the customer from not just being a customer who leaves a brand, leaves products at any time, but takes them from a customer into a community. We want to make sure we have that. And of course, we should be suppressing all campaigns for 7 to 14 days while this flow runs entirely. So campaigns are not as valuable as this post-purchase Hourglass flow, and I'll walk you through it. So to go through the metric a little bit, number one, you want to have it based on the Klaviyo placed order metric. No profile filters needed. Smart settings should be off, always sent to all buyers. And again, suppress all your campaigns for people within this flow. Now, you want to wait 1 hour after someone places an order because you want to let the transactional emails fire immediately. Wait 1 hour so your branded thank you doesn't compete with those transactional emails, and it gives customers time to process their purchase. After you wait that hour, what we'd like to do is do a conditional split within your email where they're a one-time buyer, they get a different experience than a 2-time or 3-time buyer. A 1-time buyer is a new customer. You want to treat them a little bit differently than a 3-time buyer because the new buyer gain acquainted with you, right? Want to see the value here, right? So the first email is a royal welcome. Welcome to the family, text-based for high deliverability, show items they bought, welcome them to the community, focus on belonging and community membership. And the call to action is usually to create an account, get more data from them when they create an account. Email number 1 for the 2-time buyers is actually, you're so close to a VIP status, right? They're a 2-time buyer. They're showing more loyalty than a 1-time buyer, but they're not quite at that 3-time, 4-time, 5-time level you want them to be at, of course. So remind them that they're so close to VIP. Thank you again for placing an order with you. Show items they bought, same structure as the first email. For the 3-time buyers, you want to focus on them being a VIP. 3-time buyers are extremely loyal. Their LTV is much higher. And now you're showing that you appreciate them. So that thank you email is going to be super important in that experience to frame it as they are officially a VIP with you and they're loyal, and that's what you really want. Within that email, though, you also want to have an element of adoption, how to use their product. And that's where our adoption phase comes in. The goal of this is to help them unbox and use the product successfully. And so you may want to have links in there that have how-to guides, YouTube video links, blog posts, and set expectations about when to expect delivery, what's inside. And customers keep returning to this email all the time because it's a quasi-transactional email. They could track the order, they know what's coming, they know when it's coming. And it's a really great way for you to blend your transactional elements with a promotional element that's giving them the tools they need to unbox the item, and remind them to log in and view their account if they already created one. After that, you wait 1 day or 2 days, and then you start focusing on your retention emails. Now, retention is all about bringing them from a customer into a community. So you can have multiple emails within this phase. You can ask them to join our channels, add to our community. And the whole point of this is to unlock incremental value for your brand beyond just the product they purchased. Invite them to SMS, use your rewards program, Facebook group, Instagram, WhatsApp, Slack, in-store, subscriptions and save, right? Subscribe and save. And it also hedges against email unsubscribes by moving them to other channels. That's how you build a community. So they're not just reliant on email, but now they're part of your whole overall community. Some brands have 1 touch for this retention phase. Some have multiple. You can have 8 retention touches, and that could mean an extremely loyal customer. This phase allows you to get customers to stay with you and start building the community. After that, you want to wait until after delivery. It could be day 6 or 8 or day 4 or day 3, whatever that window of delivery is, wait until that period, right? So for beauty and consumables, maybe that wait period behind when you send your next email, which is an upsell email, it could be for day 14. And for some electronics, it could be day 30. And some brands, it could be day number 3. Whatever it is, wait until the item has been delivered and the customer has used the product. Don't upsell before they received and used the product. But the next email is our expansion series. And that's when you want to have them maximize the product they purchased with other items, right? And send only if the product's delivered and adopted. Some great examples, if you bought a camera, right? They realize over time they need lighting, they need an extra SD card, they need a teleprompter in order to maximize their camera purchase. So this is the type of email that you start sending to them to start getting that done. Add-ons, bundles, accessories, free gift with purchase. Use your rewards on other accessories and cross-sell them. You may want to add these to your routine. You may want to add in this VIP membership. You may want to add in a free concierge service for $99, right? That's all in the expansion phase. And you can really only do it after you unlock value for the customer within your community. The final touch, after you wait 3 or 4 days, it could be 10 days, whatever the timing is for your brand, where you feel like you've given enough value to the customer and they've adopted more products and maximized their existing purchase in the first place. Then you start with the advocacy phase, which is leave a review, ask for a review only after adoption, retention, expansion phases are complete. If they click positive, send it to a review page. If they click negative, you can flag it for customer review. And timing is everything. You have to send it after they used and loved the product and really love the experience, right? Refer a friend, share on social, tag us. All this is part of the advocacy phase. Use as many touches as you want. I'll only show you one touch for each phase just to keep it simple. So let's go down to exactly what the post-purchase Hourglass flow looks like and how to start using it. So right here you see this is our 4-stage Hourglass framework, right? And we call it, again, Hourglass because it's literally taking that customer, just like a funnel, taking that customer and adding them to literally your community. It's all these little pieces of sand gathering at the bottom, everyone's sharing the same space, and that's the point of it, right? Bring them into the group. There's 4 stages to maximize the potential of this flow, and that is, number 1, the adoption phase, then the retention phase, then the expansion phase, and then the advocacy phase. I'll go into all these a little more deeper in a second, but in general, adoption is the experience of, I want to make sure I got what I ordered. I want to make sure that I can use it right out of the box. I want to make sure that the customer has a great experience based on what they expected, right? We want to meet their expectations. The retention phase after that is all about, this customer could have gotten this product anywhere. Why did they buy from us? Because we have extra value to add to their life. So you want to focus everything on showing the highlights of your brand and why your community is the best place to shop. Third is expansion, right? They just bought a product. Expansion is all about, how do I get them to use the product more and maximize the usage of that product? Great example is, if I bought a camera, the customer will slowly realize that they need lenses, they need lighting, they need better filters, they need a teleprompter. So the expansion phase allows you to add more products to that first purchase, right? Similar to upsell, cross-sell, exactly it. But the expansion side, it's a bigger way of thinking about it. Finally, the advocacy stage is all about, once you've excelled in the first 3 phases, you've given them a product that met their expectations, you've shown extra value from the brand, you've helped them maximize their purchase in more ways than they thought. Now you ask them for a review, and that's the advocacy phase. Review, refer a friend, question and answer, you name it, to help them become an advocate for you. That's how you turn those one-time buyers into lifetime buyers. And the key part also, this is the moment where you suppress them from all your campaigns, right? This flow should run, and it runs over 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, however long you need it to run to maximize the post-purchase experience for your customers. And you shouldn't be selling them again, right? No more campaigns to them for that time period when this is running. That's just cheesy. You don't want to send an email asking them to buy something when they just bought something. You don't need to send a leave a review email or here's all the rave reviews about my product when they just bought something. So suppress them from campaigns for the entire post-purchase experience. So let's talk about how to build this. So number 1, the trigger is the placed order metric in Klaviyo. You don't need any profile filters there to remove people from it, just everyone who just bought. Smart sending off, always send to your buyers and send to them quickly, right? You want to have that post-purchase nurture series going right now. And again, suppress them from your campaigns. Those are a lower performing email than a post-purchase series, especially if you're churning a lot of customers. Okay, so here's the mindset of this, right? The post-purchase series is somewhat quasi-transactional. It's a little bit promotional, a little bit transactional at the same time. So wait 1 hour before you start this series. Let your transactional emails fire immediately. Give the customer time to process their purchase. Oh my God, why is everyone? So the next step is you want to wait 1 hour. And the reason for that is you give your transactional emails time to fire immediately, right? They just place an order, they get an order confirmation, shipping confirmation, whatever it may be. It gives customers time to process their purchase. So wait 1 hour before you start this series. Yes, this series is a little bit quasi-transactional, quasi-promotional, but let the transactional emails go first. After that, really important to put a conditional split, right? And you split it out based on how many purchases they made with your brand. So number 1, if they are a new buyer, split out the thank you email that we're going to send to them first, right? Split that out. If they're a two-time buyer, you want to send an email that says like almost a VIP, you're approaching VIP status. And then the third email is like you're officially now a VIP. And the reason you do that is because the one-time buyers should have a slightly more enriched path of their post-purchase experience than a two-time or three-time buyer. Two-time and three-time buyers are pretty loyal already. But if they're a one-time buyer, your goal is to get them from 1 to 2 as fast as possible, right? That's the magic behind the post-purchase series, because it increased their lifetime value by at least 600%. So you split them out, 1, 2, and 3. And email number 1 contains a few sections here, and also just having the mindset of the adoption phase, okay? So number 1, the adoption phase is all about helping them unbox and use the product successfully. And you should include in there how-to guides, YouTube video links, set expectations, when to expect delivery, right? That's all in the experience of the email. And the first part also that you combine from this and this is all about welcome to the family, right? You want to have your email focused on welcoming them into the community, text-based email, right? Get them to create an account, show items they bought in it, which makes it a kind of quasi-transactional email. Focus on belonging and community membership, right? Create an account, join our website, tell us more about yourself. And that's the magic behind this type of email. It's the same style for the two-time buyers, though the slight language is all about you're almost a VIP, right? Thank you again for your purchase. We appreciate your loyalty. And the third-time buyer, same style as well, but now it's much more rewarding. Now we feel like we're family and you're part of the community even more. That's the kind of language of every single email you should have, but differentiate it for a one-time buyer, two-time buyer, and a three-time buyer. And as always, as I said before, it should really focus on the adoption phase, which means get them to use the product. They just bought it. They need to use it. They need to unbox it. Tell them more about how to unbox it. Tell them what to expect. Tell them some tutorials about how to use it. Set the expectations. And it's a really high engaging email because people are excited about it, right? They just got they placed their order. Now you're helping them, guide them into the community. So that's all in the adoption phase, right? It's about the same email, but combine these two elements into the email. After that, wait a day or two and really time this email around the window when you can expect delivery. I'm not saying it has to be delivered to send this. You'll find that this phase, the retention phase, is really important to do it while the order is being prepared. The retention phase kind of gets them excited, right? So you really should invite them to join your channels, join your community. And it will help the customer see that there's more incremental value behind just the product they purchased. And if you invite them to more channels like SMS, WhatsApp, Facebook groups, rewards program, visit in store, you're going to find that the lifetime value of your customer will consistently increase because the more channels they're on, the more ways you can actually interact with them, right? The more they see you as valuable, as a partner in what their need was, right? So invite them to more channels, tell them all about your rewards program. You guess what? You've unlocked rewards. You're maybe able to hedge against email unsubscribes by adding them to more channels as well, because sometimes they will unsubscribe from your email, but they'll rarely leave a community. And I found that some brands have multiple emails in the retention phase. I'm just going to talk about one right now, which is the retention email that just says, join our community, join our channels. But generally, many brands could have 2-3 touches of this email just to tell them all about the value that the customer unlocked. So I'm just going to list one right here, but do as many as you need as long as it's a clear message. After this, you want to wait until after delivery. Once the items get delivered, you don't want to bug them too much, right? The transactional emails of delivery notification will fire. And you want to wait a good amount of time after they have time to use the product. So for example, if they just got a beauty product, they're just going to try it out in the next couple of days. And immediately you can follow up with our next phase, which is our expansion phase. But if you have maybe a product that needs a lot longer usage period, maybe a camera they need to learn about, they're still in the learning phase, which is the adoption and retention phase. So when you're trying to upsell them or cross-sell them, they may not be ready for that right now. So wait until the right time, but certainly the item has got to be delivered. Don't upsell before they've received and used the product. Once you find that they're ready for an upsell, this is when the expansion phase kicks in. And this is only sent after the product is delivered and adopted. And again, some examples are if I bought a camera, I need to maximize my product by adding more lighting, more teleprompter, you name it. So make sure that you're adding these emails and this upsell and cross-sell and items that can actually use immediately. Bundles, accessories, free gift for the next order, even upsells like warranties and new premium content that you can unlock for $99 a year. Anything you have is part of that expansion phase. You can upsell someone anything and that will increase their lifetime value. So that is the expansion phase. And then after that, wait 3 to 4 days, or again, given a good window of time for them to actually use the product, find that they've trusted you, find that you've really over delivered on that post-purchase experience. And then you want to get them to become an advocate. And that's the final phase of our post-purchase Hourglass. Leave a review. Ask for a review only after adoption, retention, expansion phases. You can also say if they click positively, they'll leave a review. If they click negatively, alert customer service to follow up. Timing is everything. You only send the advocacy stage of emails after they've actually adopted the product and found that it's been very useful for them. So that's a 4-pillar phase of our post-purchase framework. Let's talk a little bit about the structure of your email. So you can see right here with our 4-touch post-purchase Hourglass framework, we have touch number 1, which is adoption. And the email is a thank you letter, right? Thank you very much for placing an order. At the very top, similar to your abandoned flows, very small text-based message, thank you, right? Or thanks for trusting us, or welcome. Anything that kind of frames the message you're about to say, nothing major graphical. You just want to have the text of the letter connect with that image, right? So the letter, though, is all about saying, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your trust. You've entered a community of like-minded customers just like you. And once again, create an account. That's the call to action. Join us, log in, track your order, whatever you want to say to create an account. That's what you want to do. Underneath it, you want to have the products that they ordered. That makes this email a somewhat quasi-transactional type of email, which is really good because sometimes when they click on the item again, they'll find products that pair well with it, and you don't need to do much after that, right? So the product they ordered is a really good way for them to track the order, recap your order, make sure we got it right. View your tracking is a great way to get them to say, oh yeah, let me keep an eye on this email anyway and save it for later because this has some product information about what I ordered and I still want to know. Underneath that, we have a section that focuses on content and unboxing, tips on what they should expect with the item they have, how to unbox it when you get it, what you should be ready to receive, right? Anything you need to know to maximize the product right away, we want to put into this email. And then finally, underneath that email, we will also have items they may also like. Customers like you also bought, and those dynamic products under there are relevant to them. That's the adoption template. The retention template is a little bit different. Once again, from the retention phase, you want to get them to see that there's more value from your brand beyond just what they bought. So you can add in content like free premium content on your YouTube channel that tells them how to use the product. Maybe they earned rewards and you want to put this in the email that says, by the way, your new purchase earned rewards. Here's more to learn about our rewards program. Maybe you have a private Facebook group or WhatsApp group where you can dialogue with like-minded people just like you. Whatever it is that helps them see more value from your brand, put that in the email. And then again, the product they ordered to make it quasi-transactional and items that they may also like right there. The expansion template is more or less an upsell, cross-sell in many ways. And so you want to have at the very top, not too much copy, something that's very short and terse that says, customers like you also bought this, or if you want to get the maximum value out of your purchase, try these and add these to your collection, add these to your beauty routine, add these to your workspace, your cupboard, whatever you want to say, right? Products in there that we think you like, all recommended for them. And then underneath it, always add navigation. Get them to continue to search your store for more items, right? You may also want to check out our new lenses for your camera, or your new filters for our camera, or check out new shoelaces for your shoes, or different shoe horns for them. So different navigation in your email is really important for the expansion phase. And then finally, the advocacy phase, more of a text-based type of letter that says, hey, if you love the product and we did a great job, share the feedback. Mind leaving a review, tell us how we did, and then underneath it, the product they ordered so they can click through and leave a review at that product. Call to action just says leave a review. And then, of course, have dynamic products under that help them spend more to get more products related to what they bought in the first place. So that's how you do it. And here's an example of brands that do it really well. You have the top graphic right here that just says thank you, very clear. You have a letter style right there that just says create an account. We're so glad to have you here. Let the journey begin. Or you're so close to being a VIP. All your changes is a copy of the email. Log into your account. And you also, right here, perfect way of looking at it, create an account to get this and this and this and understand exactly the value of it. Recap your order right here to show exactly what they bought so they can view it again and even say, you know what, I do need more. Maybe I need to add more stuff. And then the items that they may also like right there. The rewarded comes right after that says, guess what? Your purchase earns you rewards. You can see it right there. They've earned more points. And again, the structure is still the same. Next is max tips. Here's what you need to know about your product to get more value out of it, right? This is a little bit more in the retention phase because the retention phase could be as many emails as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be just one, but they used it for 2 of them to make sure that they understood that the product they're buying requires some know-how and how-to guides. So this is a super helpful one from the retention phase with more products related to them. And then finally, maximize your investment by adding more products to help you get more out of it. If you have a bunch of nails, you may need a hammer. If you have a drill, you'll need drill bits, right? Things like that. That's going to be very helpful for the upsell. And this is a great example of the review side where you can actually show off your style, use a hashtag to follow us, tag us in your look and how you wear our product, how you use our product, and leave a review on our product as well. That's pretty much the design template for your post-purchase Hourglass framework. So now let's talk about how to build this in Klaviyo. So once again, I'm going to go to Create Flow, and I'm going to call this Build Your Own right there. I'm going to go to HFD and PP Test 2. I have another test I'm going to share with you in a second. Create the flow, and super easy to build this out. What you're going to do is grab your trigger, once again, placed order, and you pull in your Shopify or WooCommerce, whatever it may be, and allow re-entry because you always want to have your one-time buyers come in, and then, of course, your two-time buyers. They buy again. It should come to the same journey. Three-time buyers, same thing. So allow re-entry. No profile filters applied, nothing to really suppress. They just bought an item, so you don't need to suppress anyone. You want to click Save, Confirm, and Save. So now after you did your trigger, this is the final flow setup that we build out for our clients. Number one, when someone places an order, you wait 1 hour right here, right? Again, you let your transactional emails go, and then you split it out. You do a simple conditional split. And the way to do a conditional split, you could just go here, add the plus, and there's logic here, and it says conditional split. I'll just do it for example. So you can go here to the left, conditional split, what someone has done, and you simply click has placed order equals 1 since starting this flow, okay? So now I've identified everyone who's placed 1 order, and they're going to go down a better path. They're going down the one-time buyer path. I could change this to 2. Anyone who bought 2 items, they'll go down the 2-time buyer path, and then I can then say anyone who has placed is greater than 2. Then they'll go down the 3-time plus buyer path, right? So that's how you can place this in. And let me just close this and show you the final setup here. You can see that when someone places an order 1 equals 1 overall time, they'll go down the 1-time buyer path, and then we do another conditional split. Has placed order 2 has placed 2 orders overall time. They go down the 2-time buyer path, and then here is everyone else, right? So that's how it lays out. And you can see this brand right here had a very clear way of setting out their flow. So you had the 1-time buyer, thank you. You had the 2-time buyer, thank you over here. 3-time buyer, thank you over here. Let me delete this so we can see a little bit more of this. Let's delete the yes path. There we go. Perfect. So the 1-time buyers went down this path. They waited a day. Then they invited them to get social with them. Again, you see this is the adoption phase. And then they went to the retention phase, get social, join our community, join our private Facebook group, let's be Insta friends. And then they had so much value when it came to retention. They also had rewards. So they added another touch of rewards right here. Hey, you've earned some rewards, come use them and claim them or create an account right there. After that, once they're done with their retention phase, they then went 4 days, waited for the item to be delivered. It took about a couple days to be delivered, and now the customer has used it. Then we start accessorizing them. That's the expansion phase right there. Post-purchase touch 3, accessories. And then they wait a couple days. They add another little upsell, which was all about joining their private community, their private style community right there. So they added an FAQ time right there. Again, part of the expansion phase. Then finally, they waited a couple days. I think there's a duplicate here. They waited a couple more days, about 5 days right here. And then they added in a reviews email, right? Love the item, leave a review. And that was about, on average, maybe about a 10 to 14 day window right there. So once again, you got to suppress those customers from your campaigns. They don't need to get anything. Your flows will do a little heavy lifting for you. You don't need to keep hitting them with campaigns. I would suppress anyone who bought within the last 14 days from any email. I would even say even 30 days from any campaign going forward. My opinion on that. Now, as for the 2-time buyers, the 3-time buyers, the same experience, but again, different copy. The thank you email, different copy as I shared with you. The 3-time buyers, different copy as I shared with you. They also had added more rewards, so they wanted to make it a little bit more, as part of that retention phase, they wanted to make it a little more of an enriched, personalized email. So the 2-time buyers also got a rewards. Instead, the language and copy was changed. It said, you have more rewards, even better. The 3-time buyers said 3 times the purchases, 3 times the rewards. So a little bit of a more a better email to the 3-time buyers about the rewards they earned. But after that, look at this. They then combined all their paths back into the original path. So they did the accessories after waiting the time period. Everything was connected accordingly and worked really well. I think the wait period needs to be actually down here. After that, there you go. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure, again, the wait periods are set up correctly. You don't want customers to get multiple emails on the same day or getting it too early or too late. So really understand the path and the journey and the timing of your post-purchase series. But if you get this right, this is the most critical flow probably for any brand overall. So get this right and you will make millions. You'll be able to take your one-time buyers into lifetime buyers every single time. Honestly, the post-purchase side is where most brands fail because 80% of their customers are one and done. They never buy again. Most e-commerce brands obsess over acquisition, paid ads, organic social, TikTok shop, but they don't focus on winning that customer for life and turning them from a one-time buyer into a lifetime buyer. So I actually did a deeper breakdown video on our post-purchase Hourglass strategy that allows you to take your one-time buyers into lifetime buyers. I'll link that full training below this video so you can check it out right after this video. Now we've tackled the post-purchase experience, adoption, retention, expansion, advocacy, 4 critical flows and 4 critical touches within the post-purchase Hourglass framework that will allow you to keep your customers for a long time, one time to lifetime buyers. That all happens during the post-purchase experience. But there are times when it doesn't pan out or a customer didn't convert again, right? So really most brands and most agencies tend to focus on Winback campaign. And that's all good and well. A Winback is really important. But what they don't tell you is actually 6 times harder to win back a customer who has churned and left your brand and ignoring your brand from here on than it is to prevent them from churning in the first place. So this is where our churn prevention flow comes in. You want to get them before they're even thinking about leaving, right? They may not have purchased again right away after the post-purchase experience, but they're still ripe to be really nurtured a little bit more and brought back into the fold. You don't just want to wait until they're gone. You want to actually focus on preventing them from leaving in the first place. So that's our churn prevention flow right here. Our churn prevention flow intercepts customers at the day 30 to 45. Whatever your repurchase window is, right? Let's say they bought an item on day 1 and you expect them to repurchase at day 90. At day 45, you want to hit them with this churn prevention, making sure that they're not going to churn. So you want to make sure that it's half the repurchase window in general. And get them before they churn. It's 6 times cheaper than winning them back. And what we do here is what we create a kind of VIP week or an appreciation week or a customer week with tiered offers for different levels of buyers. I'm going to show you exactly how to work this in a second. The triggers are pretty obvious and pretty clear. Use the placed order metric, just like you did with the post-purchase flow. It can run in parallel with post-purchase. And the reason is post-purchase runs from day 0 to day 14 or day 20, right? Day 0 meaning the day they purchased the item. For the next 14 days, it's your post-purchase series. After that, then you can send them some campaigns and just bring them back into the normal campaign cadence. But then this flow runs at day 30 to 45 or so. So run it in parallel. And again, it's to prevent customers from churning before it happens. So the first profile filter you want to add to this after they place an order is make a check. Did they place a repeat purchase at any time in the last 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, whatever that window is? And if they bought at any point, exit them immediately. Only continue if they have not repurchased. After that, you wait your certain amount of time, right? You have that time cycle of saying, I need to get them to wait 60 days or 30 days, adjust that repurchase timeline and repurchase date. Great example again, if you're expecting them to purchase again at the 90-day mark, trigger this flow at day 35 to 45. If you expect them to purchase at 60-day mark, trigger this at day 25 to 30. It's a sweet spot, but you got to study what is the right time to send it. A simple test right there. And what we like to do is a conditional split where there's a buying tier. Each one gets a personalized 7-day VIP appreciation week with tiered offers. I'm just going to show you really one path, one design, but you can differentiate it. And the reason we want to do this is because a one-time buyer who's about to churn is really important that you keep them in the fold. A 2-time or 3-time buyer, super important, but you don't need as high of an offer. They may have just forgot because they're already loyal. They have some sort of loyalty. Maybe they're just off their buying cycle, but a one-time buyer, you gotta get them to buy again and make it profitable for your business. So touch 1 for the one-time buyer, and really it's all the same as I just said. Touch 1 VIP week starts, right? Starting now, it's a VIP week. No one ever gets this email. It's an amazing week just for you. It's the same style as you would see with Prime Day or Nordy Week from Nordstrom or Wayfair Day or Sephora Day, right? Sephora Week, whatever it is. 1 week of customer appreciation, 1 week of being a VIP. It starts now. So you have that VIP week starts now. Offer something that's really good. Announce that it's a 7-day exclusive window just for you. Keep the offer in line with your profit margins, but really the goal is to get them to rebuy. Wait a couple days, send touch 2, which is going to be all about the best sellers for them, and activate your gift. At some point, when you send the first email, you have data. If they click the email or opened it or browsed the site and said, oh, VIP week, I'm being treated nicely, you want to show more VIP bestsellers that are curated for them, reinforce your exclusive offer, and again, call to action, activate your gift or shop VIP week. After that, wait 2 more days. Again, this is going to last for a week. So you have touch 1 on, let's say, a Monday, touch 2 on a Wednesday, touch 3 on a Friday, and that's touch 3. Still going, running out soon. Your VIP offer is running out. Urgency type of emails, reiterate the offer. And then finally, wait 2 more days or 1 more day, depending on how long you want this sale to last, and follow up with a touch 4, last chance. Use it or lose it. It's your final urgency, expires today. And what's even cool, you can also use a plain text email for deliverability boost. You could do a design. Either one, you want to get them to buy right away. And I do the same exact path for 2-time buyers to get them to go to 2 to 3, again, increasing their lifetime value, but with a smaller offer. And if I want them to go to 3 to 4 orders or so, or 4 to 5 to 6, whatever I want to do, it'll just be a light touch, right? A very small offer, maybe just use your rewards or triple the reward points they have if you have rewards. It's a really great way to get them to buy again without sacrificing too much margin. So that is our churn prevention flow. Here's an example of how it looks from the design point of view, right? So you have your hero and offer right there. That's churn prevention touch 1. Hero and offer, very clear, very prominent in your face. You have navigation right under it. If you have a lot of SKUs, showing them that VIP Appreciation Week or Customer Appreciation Week is going on now, and you want them to shop different places, different locations, all that's great. Very simple template to pop out. It's your standard email. You can have it as long or as big as you want, as long as the offer is very clear and it's unique to them. VIP week doesn't come along except once a year, for example, right? So make it personalized to them and to their spot in their journey. If they're a one-time buyer, only for new buyers, just for you, VIP week. Churn prevention touch 2, very similar hero postcard image right there, but underneath are products that they may have viewed after touch 1. If they've clicked on touch 1 and view products, or you even know what they bought in the past and you want to show more recommended items, show those items in your template. And of course, navigation to get them to click through. You'll eventually learn that all these click points can be tracked, measured, and even have a flow built around them. Different video for that. Churn prevention touch 3 shows the best of the sale right here. We have the best of the VIP week, right? Helps them stop clicking and seeing the wholesale, but viewing just the best sellers of it that are personalized to them. You have the products personalized to them right there, and then navigation as well. And then finally, churn prevention touch 4, similar to the welcome series, is just going to be one last push, last chance. This should last you about 6 to 7 days, 1 week of VIP week, and this helps get customers back into the fold, preventing them from churning in the first place, so you don't have to worry about winning them back. Here's some examples right here of this churn prevention in action. You see right here, we're celebrating you, and we give you a nice $10 off offer of a certain purchase, and you have dynamic products underneath there. You have touch number 2 right there, which is very similar, slightly differentiated language and copy and look, right? $10 off, just a reminder, first-time buyers. Third touch, get your gift. Similar setup, it works really well. Most of the time they get a lot of clicks above the fold, which enhances your clicks, but the bottom half enhances your conversions. And then finally, final hours for this, use it or lose it. Now is time. You have this brand over here, VIP week, similar setup right there on the left. VIP week starts now. VIP week bestsellers, VIP week what's going on in timeless style. Reminder, you have a 20% off. And then finally, end soon to cap this sale overall. So it really helps prevent customers from churning in the first place. Let me show you how to build it using our master flow template right here in our flow build out. So the first thing you want to do is set the trigger, right? I showed this on the last video, post-purchase. Set your trigger when someone places an order. Same exact setup, only this time you want to add in a wait period. So in this case, you have a wait 60 days and wait until that 60-day mark hits. Now, when that hits, that's when you realize they're not purchasing again, right? So you do a check. After that, you do a conditional split. Have they placed one order over all time? Right? You want to just verify that they've only placed one order. The other way to do it is wait 60 days and do a check. Have they placed any order since starting this flow? Right? So I could just change this over and say placed order equals at least once since starting this flow, right? You could change it to that. And the reason you could change it to that is This is tracking the minute someone places an order and counting down 60 days. So this allows you to say, have they placed another order since starting that flow? And then you're good. The other way to do this also is to create a segment of anyone who placed an order over all time, or placed an order and then has not placed an order in the last 59 days or in the last 29 days. That's a very simple segment to create. You can actually pull it out from Klaviyo. It's called the Winback segment. Very easy to create overall, but it's the same setup. Wait, have they placed an order today? And have they placed another order within 29 days after the purchase or 59 days after the purchase? Very easy to set up. After that, once again, different paths. I could say they placed orders equals 2 overall time. They go down a different path. And then if not, I don't even send them an email if they're a 3-time buyer. I just mark them as VIP right here, which is a property update. I'll get back to that in a second. But you see right here, after we've identified that have placed an order, they have not placed another one in 60 days, we then start our VIP week. Touch 1 starts now. The VIP week is going on now. Be the first to shop. Wait 2 more days. We also can change the timing of this email. I could wait 2 days and send this at 1 p.m. their time zone. And then I change it over here. I could say wait 2 days and send it 9 p.m. Different time of day may impact that customer conversion and engagement. So that's another good step to do here. You can simply see how to do it right there. Touch 2 goes from us to you. You have a gift. After that, touch 3. Did you forget your item? There's a sale going on now. Don't forget to use it. And then wait 1 more day. Touch 4. Last chance to use it. Last chance to shop VIP week. For the 2-time buyers, same path over here. What I want to share with you here is that if they are more than a 3-time buyer, I just want to make sure that I know that they're a VIP. So I can actually update their profile, which is a really cool thing to do. You should do this even at the post-purchase level, where I can add here, do the plus, and do the data and property update. And now anytime someone places 3 orders, I can just say, I want this person to be marked as a VIP. So you can update that VIP right there. I don't think I'm connected. This is my test account, can't connect it, but you can see update VIP to true is the best way to do this right there. So that's our churn prevention flow that we run out for brands, and it will help prevent customers from having to win them back in the first place. Now that you address the post-purchase experience with adoption, retention, expansion, advocacy phases, and we figured out how to prevent customers from churning in the first place, if none of that works, you're stuck with a customer win-back flow. Now, this is still a great flow to build out, but the goal is to keep customers in the very first place, right? You don't want to have to win them back, but it's a super important step in the process to keeping them in the fold and trying to recover more revenue from them. So let's look into the win-back flow overall. This re-engages customers who haven't purchased in, let's say, 90 days, 45 days, 180 days, whatever that window looks like to you. And you want to use a segment-based trigger so it fires immediately for existing customers, not just new ones. And you can customize the window based on your buying cycle any way you want. I'll show you how to build in a second. So in this, what you want to do is there's a couple ways to build a win-back flow, right? You can either say, let's do a segment that says the minute they come in, if they placed an order on day 0 and they didn't place an order after 89 days, then day 90, we send them this flow. The other way to do it is to create it within the flow system, which I'm going to share with you in a second. So number 1, the profile filter you want to have, again, if they place an order 0 times since starting this flow, that's who you want to send this to. If they did, exit them immediately. You could then wait to a certain time period. I find that it's good to test out the time periods, wait till 1 p.m., 9 a.m., 5 p.m., whatever it may be, and send this message out to your customers and say, hey, time to buy. We want to win you back. I'll show you exactly to do. Email number 1 is all about we miss you or new arrivals, right? You want to focus on, say that it's been a while. Now is the time where you can come back and see some of our newest products, what's going on, remind them of your guarantee or value propositions, right? And you should give some sort of either offer or discount, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You could be just reminding them that you miss them and go from there. After that, you have a little bit of a time period of delay, maybe a 7-day window of delay. And you want to make sure that they are not necessarily getting too many campaigns because clearly they're not engaged and not buying again. I would still cordon them off from campaigns because let them run overall. Email number 2 is more of a comeback and discount offer where you could come back. We add this new coupon for you. First one was we miss you. Second is more an offer. And it really depends because at this point, you're trying to win them back and you want to do whatever you can to win them back at the end of the day. So test which one goes first. The offer goes first or your standard we miss you goes second. I'll show you both examples in a second. Wait a few more days for a last chance, and then you start with a text-only email. Founder-led email is usually good because if you know it's going to get delivered really well, and if they want to buy again, they will. But again, this is a win-back flow that you really want to test what's going to work really well. And I'll show you what worked really well for our clients, and you can maybe build something similar to that. So here's a great example of how the Winback flow looks. Number one, Winback touch one, hero plus offer. Give that offer right there and say, hey, here's something for you. We miss you. We'd love to have you back. Followed by some navigation in there to get them to explore more variety. Just like you're trying to get them back into your store, you still want them to say, you know what, maybe it didn't pan out for them with the item they bought, but maybe there's other items in here that you would like to see as well. So that's where navigation comes in. Winback touch two, here's the layout of it. Right? Since you've been gone, we've added so much more. We have new reviews, new products, new collections, new categories, new buying options, you name it, all in this email. Talk about what you've done new. And these two emails are interchangeable. You could start with the new one first and then the offer after, or you can start with the offer first and the what's new after, right? So it really depends on testing it. At the end of the day, I'm showing you both right now. And then items underneath it that we think they'll love, thinking of them. I was thinking about you and I found these for you. I think this would be great. And then again, the offer reiteration from the original hero image, hero created right there. And then Winback touch three, very clearly letter-based email, founder-led email, just telling them, I miss you. I hope we have a chance to reconnect. Don't be too salesy. You don't want to talk too much about your brand or the idea of, I just want you to buy more. Ask them what's causing them to stop them from continuing to shop with you. What can we do to win your trust again? Have you found something cheaper? Use it as an opportunity to take a survey also and learn more about what's preventing them from buying in the first place. And that will be very helpful to you. But again, offer reiteration too, that's going to be important to convert them. Here's some great examples of this and how this works. So number one, you have this email right here, very clear offer at the very beginning. This crushed it. It's just a very easy email to put together. Pick up where you left off. I love this because it's so personalized to them, right? This is where you were. These are the items you may still need. You need to replenish these or maybe buy more of that. Pick up where you left off. And then a reminder about your promises and the value right there. And we've done this multiple times along with what's new. And this is another great example of get what you love with 30% off a special Winback offer exclusively. Check out what's new, as we talked about before, and your best sellers on top of that, getting them to engage and come back and see what else is out there because they've been gone for so long. So this is our master flow build out for our customer Winback. Again, same setup for the trigger that you did in post-purchase and for churn prevention, same trigger of placed order. And once again, you want to wait about 90 days or 45 days, or whenever that purchase window looks like that they passed. So if they pass that window, you want to make sure that you're sending them an email to try and win them back. It could be 180 days, 365 days, whatever it may be. I know for electronics, sometimes you buy a phone, right? There's not that great of a chance that you'll renew your phone after a year. So the win back could be very long. So you wait 90 days overall. Then we like to add a conditional split. Really important to have this split. You do a check. In this case, have they placed an order at least once in the last 89 days, right here, at least once in the last 89 days. And then if it is yes, then you want to remove them from the flow because they placed another order. But if it's no, you want to start your win-back flow. Very clearly, start with your win-back right there. Set your wait period the next time. You can see wait 15 days, 7 days, 3 days. Test the timing to see what's right. Add in your touch two, which is a personalized letter from the CEO. We just skipped to touch two at this point because we could stack it all into one touch, but you can just add another wait period and another touch for that 3-touch win-back series. And that's all you need, right? After that, you can decide if you want to sunset them. Maybe they're not engaged with the channel at all, or you can remove them from your list or suppress them. However you want to approach it, that's more of a reactivation phase and a re-engagement phase as well. Very simple flow to turn on. This will not make you a ton of money because if you do it right, your post-purchase flow will get them to become a repeat buyer, and your churn prevention will get them from becoming a win-back opportunity, right? Win-back is only your final last resort, and that's why we put it as the final part of our pre-purchase and post-purchase Hourglass funnel. That's our entire Klaviyo flows essentials that you need for your business, starting with your pre-purchase phase, your welcome series, followed up by site abandon, then browse abandon, then cart and checkout abandon, and that's how they become a buyer for your business. All about the flow funnel right there. After that, how do you take them from a one-time or new buyer into a lifetime buyer? That's our post-purchase Hourglass, where you have the adoption phase, using the product correctly, Retention phase, how do they unlock more value from their brand? Expansion phase, getting them to use more of the product with different accessories and upsell and cross-sell opportunities. Churn prevention, for preventing them from leaving your brand and getting them to stay with you with a special customer appreciation week or VIP week. And then customer win back. If all that fails, you do your customer win back approach to get them to come back to you and start over. And then once they come back to you, the funnel starts all over again. That's the beauty of this. Just like an hourglass, you turn it around and you're set to start once again. That's our HiFlyer Digital Klaviyo Flows Builder tutorial, all in one video. So there you have it. That's the complete Klaviyo system that we use to help over 160 e-commerce brands from 6-figure to 10-figure brands generate revenue automatically on autopilot every single day. If you implement even 20% of what I taught you on this video, your email, revenue, and lifetime value will drastically improve. Because remember, the money is in the follow-up, not just in sending more campaigns or blasting your list. It's in the follow-up system you build that's set to run 24/7, 365. But flows are just one part of a high-performing email, SMS, and retention system. And that's why 160 brands ask us to work with them on their flows and also their entire email ecosystem. My team at HiFlyer Digital offers free audits of your email program and will show you exactly where your gaps are, if you're underutilizing Klaviyo, where your revenue leaks exist, what you're doing well, where there's room for improvement, what the revenue gap looks like for your brand, and how to close it right away. And we won't just limit it to flows. We look at all your campaign planning, your list growth, segmentation, personalization, and whether you're using Klaviyo correctly to help you scale. You can book that free audit below in the comments. If you got value from this video, subscribe to our channel, like this video, drop a comment about your biggest flow pain point, and I'll do a whole video around it, and be sure to share with another e-commerce founder who's also struggling with flows right now. I've got a lot more content coming along. Klaviyo, email, SMS, retention, design, copy, you name it, all coming to this channel first. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.